Hi, good day everyone. Today my group and I will be presenting a film review for the movie The Gua Sha Treatment. So here is our topic outlines. Firstly is the introduction of the movie, the summary, the arguments, the theories used, the review of the movie, as well as the conclusion.
This is the introduction of this movie. This movie is about a Chinese family living in the United States because of cultural difference in the accident. This is Xu Datong's family. This family have his wife Jianing and his father, grandpa, and his son, Dennis. The second part is the summary about this movie. The movie begins with the story about cultural difference between China and the United States. The two children clash and Xu Datong punches Dennis on hand in public to show respect for his friends. Because Grandpa Gua Sha for Dennis, Xu Datong was accused for child abuse, finally experienced everyone's efforts. Misunderstanding was slowed.
Next, I'm going to talk about the section of arguments. There are 5 arguments in this film, with Xu Datong representing Chinese culture, and Kunlan the doctor, the lawyer, and others representing American culture.
Dennis, I want you to apologize to Paul. It's not Yes, it is. Come on. Apologize to Paul.
I was in the way.
Say you're sorry.
Kids fight, they make up. Let it go.
Come on. Count 3. 1, 2, 2.5. Why? My own son. I hate him to show my respect for you, to give you face, you know!
What kind of twisted Chinese logic is that? You had to hit your own son so you can show respect to me?
This clip demonstrates the argument between Chinese and American views on parenting concept. Xu Datong feels he is beating Dennis to discipline him and to show respect to Kunlan. Kunlan believes that adults should not interfere in the affairs of children and that beating children is a form of abuse.
No. Oh. I was at the police station. There has, has a helicopter emergency. He was home, asleep.
This clip highlights the legal distinctions between the United States and China. Jianing believes that Xu Datong shouldn't leave their children alone at home, as this is against the law in the United States. Xu Datong, on the other hand, doesn't believe so, because there is no such law in China, and it is normal for parents to leave their children at home alone.
Gua Sha is a traditional Chinese medical treatment, used for nearly all kinds of illnesses. For thousands of years, Chinese medicine has recognized that there are 7 genes and 8 might. An example is like small streams that runs into rivers and in turn flows into the sea. A person's body has an invisible but very complex system of wires network, just like a computer network. And then also the human chi from Tang finally goes through Tang. It's the same principle.
He's your client. What is he saying?
It's a kind of...
The rest of mine doesn't understand a word you're saying.
This clip exemplifies the controversy over the existence of Gua Sha as a form of treatment. Xu Datong explains to the others that Gua Sha is a fairly prevalent treatment in China, a claim that is challenged by the other Americans there, who deny having heard of Gua Sha treatment. This highlighted cultural contrasts between China and the United States.
In my latest video is adapted from ancient Chinese storytelling. Sun Wukong is a good-hearted, compassionate, righteous hero. He represents our traditional value and ethics. Oh, traditional values and ethics, Mr. Zhou?
We don't have to play hardball.
We do if we want to hit a home run, sweetheart. Now, I've read Journey to the West in English, the book that this character is drawn from. So why don't we take a closer look at the values and ethics practiced by this Chinese monkey, Sun Wukong. Here's a story where peaches that take 9,000 years to harvest are entrusted to Sun Wukong. Yet this ethical Chinese monkey appropriates the entire harvest for himself. And when the poor farmers resist him, he totally destroys their orchard. Now, here's another example of this creature's value system. A certain deity creates the pill of eternal youth. Oh. Well, not only does old Sun Wukong consume the entire supply without regard to the life or well-being of anyone else, but he also overturns their furnace and destroys the workshop that had taken millennia to construct. Now, if such a murderous, vulgar, devious Chinese monkey is what Mr. Detongju refers to as an example of...
The Monkey King is a heroic character in one of the four great Chinese novels who helps the Tang monk to eliminate demons and ultimately obtain the scriptures successfully. In the eye of the Chinese, the Monkey King represents courage and so on. But this American lawyer thinks that the Monkey King is just a savage monkey and represents a kind of violence. For this reason, they had an argument.
I considered you as my friend, but you sold me out. How the hell do you expect me to work with you again?
I just told the truth. You shouldn't have hit Dennis.
This clip shows Xu Datong and Kunlan having an argument. Kunlan betrayed himself, since Xu Datong believes he didn't help him unconditionally during the hearing. Kunlan also claims that he merely stated the facts and didn't betray Xu Datong. To the Chinese, a body must always be on their side, whereas Americans keep work and life separate and are more concerned with facts.
So I'll be presenting the theories. So the intercultural communication theories that we have learned in class can definitely be applied into the movie that we watched. Firstly is understanding intercultural transitions. We follow this Chinese man named Da Tong, who basically moved all the way from Beijing, China to the United States for a better opportunity alongside with his family, his wife, Jianning, and his son, Dennis, which makes them a family of immigrants in the story. In the opening scene, Da Tong receives an award for his hard work in his company of game design, which he then gave a speech and he refers to and quote living the American dream, which leads to desired economic assimilation. Identity, stereotypes, and prejudice plays a huge role in the movie as well. Prejudice being portrayed in the movie in a very negative way. When Dennis was injured and needed to be sent and rushed to the hospital, the doctors then realized the bruises behind his all over his back and just assumed the worst. But in reality, how Dennis got the marks is basically because of the grandfather actually used one of the Chinese traditional remedy which is the guasha, in order to cure Dennis's stomach ache. Identity and communications can also be applied into the movie, as we all know that the doctors did not consult and confront Da Tong about the situation, about the bruises, and just straight assume the worst solely based on what they have witnessed and what they have observed, which is the bruises behind Dennis's back. Next, I'll be presenting the review of the movie. After watching the movie, I realized that it highlighted on how different Western culture comparing to the Chinese culture in the movie, which leads us to cultural differences. As for example, one of the scene, Da Tong hitting Dennis in front of his group of friends because the kids Dennis and Paul, they were playing and resulting Dennis hitting Paul. Hence, the reason why Da Tong hit Dennis in front of everyone as a way to discipline Dennis for his behavior. However, people around them was very shocked on what have happened. This is one of the reasons why we can see the cultural differences and like our different values and beliefs for different culture. Another example is that the grandfather believes that giving Dennis guasha for his stomach ache can be a cure instead of just eating medicine. Other than that, Da Tong and Jianning speaks both Chinese and English because they moved from China to the United States and want to be able to adapt to their new environment while also still staying in touch with their own culture and language. I also realized that there is language barrier, especially for the grandfather, as he was born and raised from China, Beijing, China, which resulting him to not understand and does not how to read English, on the medicine bottles. In one of the scenes, they got to go to the court in order to get their son back because of the bruises that the doctors have witnessed, which resulting Da Tong not telling the truth to the grandfather in order to protect him and to prevent him from worrying too much. In the end, Da Tong does not give up and work very hard in order to be with his family again. He was then later proven innocent when his good friend John went and get the gua sha treatment to then learn about how harmful it is, and as well as how beneficial it is to get a gua sha. In conclusion, I think that it is very important for us to not jump into conclusion before understanding and learning about the other person's cultural and identity background. And it is also very important for us to always keep an open mind in order to learn that there's a lot of many different cultural views on many different things within each culture. That's all from me. Thank you.
All in all, the film tells a typical cross-cultural communication process, where people have conflicts due to cultural differences and then eliminate the cultural differences by understanding each other's culture. Finally, the film also educates the public that conflict is inevitable in cross-documentary communication, and we should respect different cultures.